Trying to get everything set up. I need a fucking boom mic for this. Well, hello everybody. I hope so too. So too. Okay, audio sound feed on the phone. Okay. Yeah, already did the screen, so it won't have. Hopefully, it won't have any weird crashing of OBS. Mm. There we go. So everybody, it's day 2 of the open beta. Turn it off. Day 2 of the open beta. We're going to be playing some more Battlefield 2042. And we'll see what gameplay we get. Let me just close out some stuff so we don't... So all of the fucking CPU isn't being hogged by whatever program. Only quality. Yes. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the evil monkey XP here is going to be who I'm playing with. My buddy from work. We got this. Actually, do you want to go into the Discord? I think that would be so you talk to each other, or what? Just pick the server, pick a where we're going.
Thanks for last night.
Yeah, I'm in the live. It's the live stream channel, I guess. Only big change I didn't start OBS in fucking administrator mode, so that's why I'm kind of like.
One rotation.
But
You get washed.
Below?
hello.
Oh shit! I gotta mute you.
I just
Oh,
I see this freaking new server. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's my buddy's Helco server.
Ah, okay.
Well, it's Fields.
Actually, it's TK's.
Yeah, in extension, it's TK's. Phil basically Phil's because he
Everybody. We literally just passed the Discord around to everybody.
Oh yeah, just like the top. No, never mind.
Are you in my lobby?
No.
Or
Yeah.
it says I see it on your stream that you're in it, but on my screen you're not.
Huh.
Invite me.
Are you on?
Am I on? Yeah.
Make sure your
Yeah,
Discord
it's
is doing that.
Did that reset again?
I hope not.
God damn, son of a bitch!
No? Oh, yes, it did. It must have, because you just reset, huh?
Yep, I just turned it online.
Actually, well, don't accept that. Let me re-invite.
Alright.
Klein. I'm also playing on controller today. So.
We did not leave. I left. That's so weird. Did I pause or... No?
Yeah, there's no party now.
Okay, interesting. Here, I invited you again, I think.
Error unknown error is what I get.
Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna do this again.
Error game not found. Okay. We will.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yep.
So do the same thing?
Yeah, let me quit and come back.
Yep.
Let me try restarting.
Go do the same thing. Yep.
So what do we gotta do?
Yeah, Margaret's on too.
Yeah.
Nah,
I'll say.
I don't know.
Too late, I already did.
Just be safe, fuck it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want. I know the technical alpha. Yeah, I was one of my buddies. Met him in a VR chat almost a year ago.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Has Hollow been to the strip club? little party you guys got going on?
No, he hasn't been there. He hasn't been there.
Oh, shit. Take my mans.
Just be a real man. Take a moon guard.
Didn't they changed some emotes, so didn't they kind of cut fucking...
Yup.
What? No, I can't connect to it. Oh my god, now I can't connect to fucking EA, dude.
Be fucking...
Why?
Battlefield's going burr.
Mm-hmm. My fucking little bird go burr.
Yeah, this fucking, this does feel like a slightly more polished version of the technical alpha I was in. I mean, hell, I can't even play this game normally because it still says it's the technical playtest. I have to actually go into my game library and click on the open beta to play it. It doesn't replace...
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Some bullshit.
Not that I had anything to replace the original, but...
Yeah. It just always says that the technical alpha is like what I recently played, when in actuality it's the open beta.
Right.
Yeah, it's really weird to right-click to join the party.
Yeah, I think those are just placements. Like, I think they're just doing that.
Yeah.
Just in place.
Yeah.
For now. Make it
No,
easier.
no.
Because it definitely shouldn't say like X space. Like that's definitely like a rush developer thing.
Yeah.
Just letting you know.
Alright, I'm back in, so whenever.
Okay, I'm loading back up. I just made sure all my applications were closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thoroughly disappointed with this beta. It's not fully fucking polished. Doesn't look like it's polished turd.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that it's like
No.
like from a few months ago, so.
I was just messing with Hollow.
Yeah. Okay,
The typical EA fag.
Yeah. I know. Oh god, do you remember when we played Battlefront 2? Like way back when you started? Like all the little issues and stuff like that we had. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't. I want to, but
Like, there's like a pain in the ass part of like trying to get our shit linked together.
oh yeah, for sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, this is annoying.
Okay.
No, it's not letting me in, dude.
It says you're online. So
It won't connect to the server. It's gonna keep closing and opening it.
yeah, just keep trying.
Oh! I'm in.
There you go. I see.
Okay.
You're in the Exodus. Okay.
Nice.
There we go. Yeah. Okay, more people or just the four of us? Just three of us.
Fucking jumping in.
Joey's gonna be joining us in a little bit once he gets home and showered and shit from work.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. And I'm also playing on controller too.
Fuck yeah. I only play controller when I fly.
Yeah.
Controller.
Now, if you remember, is this like Battlefront? Remember when you had to use a controller for Battlefront 2 to fly around? Like, is it that bad?
What do you mean?
Do you remember when you played Battlefront 2 and you were flying around, you couldn't really do it with the keyboard and mouse, so you had to use a controller?
Oh, yeah.
Is it like that feeling?
I prefer to definitely. Yeah, it's hard because you gotta use your mouse to fly, and Battlefield at least. Like without with your mouse and keyboard. I mean, I guess I can probably bind it up to her. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
Alright, you loaded in, I'm still fucking waiting, dude.
Yep.
You bastard. Someone's up 35 already.
American forces will take every sector if they aren't stopped.
Those damn Americans.
Okay. I think my game froze.
Yeah. Give it a second. Yeah. We do have a random guy on our team, so don't worry. You're just loading in. How many gigs of RAM do you have? Yeah.
US forces have captured Foxtrot sector.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, someone else got added. We had a PlayStation person coming into our squad.
Fuck. Yeah,
PlayStation.
Fuck PlayStation, bro.
Mm.
At least when it comes to PG.
It's only good for the freaking single player game.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
This is Spider-Man game is going to get out of PlayStation now in April or March, I think.
No shit.
So, yeah. I mean, I'm thinking for God of War.
Oh god. I know they just added Final Fantasy VII Remake on that service this month.
Tell you not to just try and shoot it.
Yeah, I did.
That's okay.
It's that quality gameplay. Oh, we all got 3 resupplies. Okay.
My man's ready to fuck over too.
Oh, that happened yesterday when I was playing it. I literally just spawned and I got ran over by a vehicle immediately. Because it just spawned me by the objective, and then a freaking Jeep just ran me over from behind.
Him down!
Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Come from the side, come from the side. Fucking robot dog.
You guys want to back out real quick?
Objective secure.
My character's fucking freaking out. What the fuck? There we go. Oh, there was a thing happened yesterday also when I got killed. My body would just be in the prone position. I would just be like this when I was like in like revive mode. After being dead, I just looked like I was just prone in the kitchen.
We need to secure more objectives quickly.
There you go. Jesus. Yeah, just send me an invite when you're ready. Really? Okay. No, I keep forgetting, actually. Right before I die, I literally just remembered. I have an anti-air fucking rocket launcher on me. I was like, oh wait a minute, I never got rid of it.
Probably need to fight one. Oh, in there. Alright, we're good. Cool.
Hang on with that.
I had to manually leave the game. So
Yeah. Yes, we're in the party, but we're just not in the same game.
Hey, you guys,
I'm at the menu thing.
Yeah, I just exited out, so we're gonna be
okay.
try again.
Let me know when you're ready. You're
Yeah,
good though?
yeah, I'm loading out. Don't worry. There we go. Should be it's in the party. So I'm in the main menu now.
Okay.
So I can try this again.
Yep. Good.
Alright. Playing, searching.
I would say one thing that was different from the alpha. I didn't think the rocket would launch. And all the time I was playing, the rocket never launched off the base.
The rocket?
There's a big rocket in one of the areas. That's why it's called orbital. There's like a satellite rocket that's going to be shooting into space.
Gotcha.
So in the alpha, yes,
Oh,
that was like one of the other missions.
But you're not in my party.
When we load in to the actual world is when that happens.
Oh, you're right. That's weird.
Yeah, so we're all here.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, HQ up there in the top right corner is
I don't have.
What happened?
My fucking controller. And then turn my broke on. And it usually takes a fucking game restart.
Ooh.
Fuck! Alright, I might have to do it one more time, boys. I'm so sorry.
Well, how does it connect? How does it connect?
What do you mean?
Like, how does your controller connect?
To fucking
How?
to USB, and then I use PS4.
Okay.
You know what? I probably could do. I probably could do wireless. Well,
Yeah,
actually, no, I don't think they have Bluetooth, right?
PS4 has Bluetooth, if I remember. I know at least the Xbox One controller. Oof. Get out of my way, bitch. You're just like running people over.
Fuck that tree! Hell yeah!
Yeah, fuck that. Go right to E. Right to E. Take this tower. What the heck?
Oh! Hold up,
Oh, this area. I see.
More!
What the fuck? I got sniped. I got sniped out of the vehicle.
Ow! Well, shit.
I got sniped out of there. What the fuck?
I almost took out some dude on that hill.
Oh my fucking god. Alright, oh, be right here. Okay. Yeah, it's... What the fuck? Like a hanging parachute? What the fuck was that? There's like a guy right here. Fuck. Multiple guys. Fuck. Fuck. Damn it.
Get down!
Yeah. This whole one guy was like fucking around by the rock. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna get in the cover and start taking him out. And then another guy showed up. I'm like, ah, fuck. Yeah, looks like they're all fucking around the HQ.
What's our status? Everything's going well. Securing objectives.
Alright.
Fuck!
See if we can take down this osprey. Ooh, did I take it? I took it out. Boom, bitch. Jesus.
There's one on the fucking tower.
Oh, fuck. Where is he? Oh.
On, by the yellow
Yeah,
grill.
I see him. God damn it. We give him a good what for.
Yeah, I'm pulling out the DMR.
Yeah. I need to fucking actually customize our weapon. This and this. Air vehicle. Oh. Ooh, domed.
Oh, fuck!
Guy right.
Right one of me.
Shit. Oh. Yeah, ran over by the Jeep.
Pimp down.
My natural normal vehicle. I do hope that because AK is still like you can't save your loadout if your attachments on it.
Yeah, that was glitched yesterday.
Alright. Ah, he's flown away. He comes like a rocket to come out. But there's another offspring up in the air. I destroyed a part of the osprey. Okay, I'm getting shot at. Let me get some cover. Oh! Ah! Killed by a fucking actor. God damn it.
Alright.
Gotcha, bitch!
Sorry, boys.
Get down there.
Oh, I'm out of DMR ammo.
That melee is also weird. You just fucking start punching. There's no knife. Oh fuck. Okay. Oh, I got me with the revolver.
Sorry, boys. I know, dude.
Ah.
I was making Kratos proud.
Alright, let me exit to the menu. I don't think I got your invite. Hang on. Yeah, we'll try it. We'll try it again.
Okay, we go.
Controllers all hooked up and everything?
Working? You
Yeah,
good?
it's working right now.
You can. Alright.
Triple check in. Still working.
Okay.
Bathroom?
It's weird because the fucking backlight's not on right now, but...
Okay,
I
let's
gotta go to the
try it.
bathroom, shit, now I gotta piss. No, I'm kidding, I'm good.
Oh shit. Yeah,
Bro,
that's why my,
what is it?
yeah, that's why my, yeah. This my bathroom's literally like right nearby me. Literally a very quick run over.
Imagine not having a bathroom in your bedroom.
Oh god.
Fuck you.
That needs to be the gamer furniture that's on that Japan is selling. I saw it. It's like a nice bed. You have your
Right.
side desk. You can put all your monitor mounts and everything.
You boys got the fucking... You guys got the little bird.
All right.
Oh my god. That's the fucking way to start. Run right into the goddamn radio tower.
Ah. Now goes in it. Okay. All right. All right. I'm out. Let's go. Apparently, I took some
I don't
damage.
know why are we sliding down this hill? Help! My driver's on drugs! Help! Yeah, that's the tree one.
Alright, now you guys have a chance to get off. Now you guys stuck with me.
I mean, it's all the squad except for one guy. Just help us in a vehicle down there.
Yeah, this man is a menace to society.
Yeah. I got my anti-air out, so we can drive by, kind of off spray or whatever. I can aim at it. Oh, adjust yourself. Adjust yourself. I'm aiming. I'm trying to aim at that helicopter and shooting missiles. Fuck you. Come on. Fire one. Do you see the image of like firing like a Stinger missile and then you just throw it out the side of a helicopter?
I know, I see that.
Oh shit. Shit.
Yo, if you don't mind, jump in the spotter seat real quick.
F2, right? Yeah, there we go.
I'm not sure. You can light, if you can just start marking shit for me.
Alright.
And it's so fucking good. I don't know how he's
Oh, it's
doing
right.
it. It's like
Okay.
G or something.
Yeah, spot is left click. And then you zoom in with
And like gives me a fat fucking marker.
Alright. Right there. Alright.
No, we're gonna go.
Yeah, there. Right there. Okay, you can watch. I saw a missile fire from down there. I don't know if that was us. Because they basically are keeping hold. I see something down there. Nothing. Oh, it even tells you the health. Nice. You getting shot from behind? We have 3 birds in the air and one's in the little world.
That's a little bird out. It's just a little bird.
Yep. Hang on. I hear a fucking plane going by. Up there. That's a fucking jet. Right there.
I know, it's hard.
Come on.
What the? He's lagging.
Yeah, he's lagging. He's fucking lagging. Holy shit. Come on. Do we not have any other weapons?
Nah, just fucking. Oh my god, this guy's smoking us out.
And there we go. Yeah.
I need to adjust sensitivity, actually, I think.
Yeah, to take on the bases. So I'm gonna take. I'm gonna go C2 real quick.
Give me an assessment.
Reloading! Watch it!
We are in control, browser.
Oh, I didn't even know the guy up on the top there. I just got a fucking Seth just posted a video in our fucking merch fucking DM. Yeah, watch that fucking
Video.
Yeah, it's a video.
Oh god.
Don't.
Forces now control Charlie Sector.
I keep not noticing the people. Damn it! It's like, oh, I saw this one, then I'm gonna check him out. It's like, nope.
Still remains strong.
Yo, I'm such a fucking bot. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and there's some comments. I'm gonna spawn on you. Actually, let me check to change the AK. If it now saves its loadout, I should do that. Where are we should?
Hello.
Oh,
Joey, I'm a bot.
A bot?
Yeah. Sorry to hear that.
oh yeah. If I remember, check my graphics real fast. I have this.
Ow!
This is just medium.
My dick!
These graphics are just medium on mine, just because like it lags on OBS. Like I run this at like high fidelity.
That's what I have mine on.
Yeah. This is like when if you stream it, it just kind of like fucks with the thing. So I just like, oh, I'll just bring it down to medium. Yeah. Wait, what the fuck did I get? I didn't change my shit to a fucking sentry gun. Fuck.
Is it changing shit on you?
Yeah. Cause I had I had the grappling hook.
Here you go, Joey.
It just like decided.
God damn it. Get me the fucking little bird.
I am streaming if you want to watch.
Okay.
We control most sectors on the battlefield.
Nope. Nope, my shit didn't save on the AK. Holy shit. Oh god. I think that sentry gun should be able to just fucking take down the helicopter.
Someone get this son of a bitch out of here!
I'm trying to.
Myself. Oh, no, I'm fine. I won't do it myself.
Fine, I'll do it
I
myself.
did it!
There's two of them.
What's up?
There's two of those fucking things.
Ow!
So we keep getting peppered.
U.S. forces.
Ow!
Reloading weapon.
It's okay, so am I. Yeah, like last night, I kept on just... I'd like get a kill, die. Get a kill, die.
Pick me off, comrade!
This fucking... I don't like this machine gun.
Oh, what is it?
That the little bird has.
Ah. Yeah, I really want to believe that there's going to be vehicle customization.
My guy, you were right there! Oh, I hate you.
Holy shit! Fucking A!
You guys need evac.
Fucking jet starts shooting fucking at us. You just walk and just hear.
Got him. Oh.
Just fucking death.
You're done!
Nice, man.
Oh,
U.S. forces have taken all of Echo Sector.
Yeah. Oh. You hate to see it.
Okay. First shoot.
I got the gat.
Oh, fuck. What the fuck?
Stop the U.S. forces from conquering every sector.
Holy shit, someone fucked that jet up.
Ah.
You're getting really fucking close, like every single shot.
I know, it's just like, I need to finesse that last bit of bullet drop.
What's
fucking
going on?
hit him.
No, Nick's sniping. Like, literally, the man's literally like a millimeter off to a headshot like, every single shot. He's so close.
All of Delta Sector.
Traded one kill, got one death on myself.
It's just like totally the bullet drop while they're running and shit that gets me.
Definitely gotta get some lead too.
Yeah, we gotta do some science.
Oh, I'm not enough lead there.
I'm switching back to my M5A3.
Which way you going? Where you going? Oh.
Just suck with the fucking machine gun.
So I'm your spotter now.
Just mid wood.
Keep an eye out for whatever. I see someone running. Yeah, that's it. It's a target.
Did you mean to do that?
Fuck. I'm potatoing.
Charlie Sector has been secured. Russian forces are now at half strength.
Someone right.
Holy
Those
shit!
tanks on the right. Up. Oh, we passed right by someone too.
More sectors.
How do you-
The whole map.
I was
Oh, we.
How
Oh,
the fuck did he C4 you from down there?
he had a killer football.
Okay.
Oh, right there. Attacked by a vehicle. Go, 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 go. Get out of the way, get out of the way, get out of the way, get out of the way.
Oh, the man just has the portal gun. Portal 2.
Yeah.
Literally.
Our troops have captured Echo Sector.
Fucking little bird.
Ah.
No!
Fuck.
They cheated that gadget. I don't know why it's the sentry gun. It's had on the grapple hook. Oh, because it may be the engineer.
Help! Help! She killed me. She sliced my throat with a shovel.
What the fuck? That's fucking
You hate
brutal.
to see it. You hate to fucking see it.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Ooh, 2, 3 in a row. Come on. No. I was gonna get 4, but he fucking killed me. God damn it. Because they're all. But yeah, they're all swarming into the fucking area over here.
Looks like they're pushing C2 as well.
Yeah. I spawned on the roof.
They have taken Charlie sector.
Gonna see if I can get a little bird and help support C2.
Yeah. The rockets, looks like the rockets on the way to be launched.
Where?
The rocket over by E. Echo.
Okay.
You guys see it's like opened up.
Get hiking, go! Most sectors
So I was marking that there's a fucking vehicle over there. I didn't actually want. I don't want anyone to fly over there. Oh, damaged part. Time for that thing to get fucked. Gotcha, bitch. I killed a super hind and then a fucking little bird, a little fucking plane came by and fucking rocketed my ass. Oh, I'm just chilling here.
Son of a bitch.
Help me, please.
Get the fuck up for school.
Ah. Alright. I see it.
Fucking jet now.
Fuck, come on. Ooh, I just watched that thing get blown up.
Yours truly.
Yeah. Nice job, nice job. I literally watched that freaking helicopter get the plane get fucking eviscerated.
He fucking jumped his chest. I'm not sure.
Yeah. It was like I was looking onto him, so I think he dropped it prematurely.
Oh, there's another shot at me.
Oh god.
See my spotter? He's above me now.
Okay, hang on.
About to get into a fucking turning fight. I bet. I'm behind him now.
Alright, let me try to get back up there so I can at least shoot him. Oh, we got Osprey shooting at us. Hang on.
You're good. I'm locked on this jet.
Yeah. Oh, they're all shooting at us. I'll do the best I can. I need some fucking ammo. They're dropping troops. They're dropping troops.
They've taken all
Ooh.
Oh yeah. By the nuts.
Oh, so okay.
Ow!
The side. Come on, come on.
My penis. They shot me in my penis.
Why do they keep shooting you in the dick?
No! Baby.
Get up, man. You still got work to
Killed
do.
him.
occupation of Fox.
I don't want to go to school.
we now control most of the map.
Alright, little bird, come in support.
Alright.
You guys, anybody fuck with you guys?
We're clear right now.
Do I have my fucking...
Oh man, someone took your gun.
It's it.
Here's something. Alright, so
Alright, well, in that case,
got
no need to
aircraft.
stay there.
Got
Nick,
plane
you
shooting at you,
to your
Joey.
Yeah, I see it.
You see where those pipelines go in that little tunnel right there?
That's his maneuver, is getting on it. Oh, he bailed.
Right there. Where it goes towards the airfield.
That one?
No, that's what I do. Yeah, right past that building right there. That's that hotline.
So,
Links to that other
yeah.
objective.
So is the whole shooting from while you're parachuting a new thing? Like, am I misremembering? Is that the first time that you can do that?
No, you can shoot parachute.
No, in the previous Battlefields.
Yeah.
So that was something you could do before?
Yep.
Okay, that was a feature I never used then.
Okay, I'm lighting this Osprey up, but not getting single hit marker. Interesting. There it is.
Yeah, try to get a little bit closer.
Quad kill.
I see that. I see that kill feed.
You got someone parachute behind you guys?
Oh,
No, it's a dog. It's a dog.
dog. Oh fuck.
On the top of the building.
I see him. Okay, I think I killed it.
There's a guy with him.
Guy. Okay. If you can do any spotting.
Got him. Got the guy.
Got the guy. Okay.
Dog's still up there somewhere.
I did kill a dog.
Oh!
By the way, we mean a robot dog. We don't mean a natural dog. The Boston Dynamics war machine. He runs like a dog. It's not an actual animal. It is in Call of Duty.
Wait, this is Call of Duty?
What?
1 out of 10, fucking hell.
Well, I did play the Vanguard beta. I did actually try that out. It's literally just Modern Warfare World War II, so.
I'm banned!
Welcome to my world, my friend. Welcome to my world.
Vector.
Yeah, I'm gonna...
Okay, that vehicle just crashed out of super hind. See a guy potentially running over there, over to B1.
Dude, Pat.
Okay, Jeep.
Oh, you're an enemy. Jesus Christ.
What do you want me to hit? Jeez.
That's a lot of recoil.
Oh god. Oh god! They're all spawning over here now. Oh fuck.
Where?
Oh, where we just died. Where the fuck are we? Where's the map? We're between C and E. So that little like shed hangar area by the runway. Right around C with all the shipping containers. Did you just sink in the floor? What are you like?
Ah! Fucking way she goes.
Yeah, it's a D1. What the fuck? The minute I spawned, I'm getting shot at multiple times. Oh, top of ridge, top of ridge. Alright, yeah, top of the ridge up here. We got targets. And we got an Osprey heading.
Oh, man. This is fire.
Fuck. God damn. Yeah, that's fucking all these
Right
units.
on the mini-map. Yep, right towards him.
Yeah, they're all coming up this ridge here.
Oh!
Let's take some cover. Try to make a kill zone. Fuck. Scanning the ridge line, trying to see if I see anything. Okay, guys, super up there.
Seems like in this battle,
Playing one fucking shot, dude.
health regenerates a lot faster.
Yeah. Okay, target's right there.
Oh shit! No! Oh god!
You guys see trace on the ground?
Yeah, straight on the ground, that location. Where Helco is. Straight from the ground, straight from the ground.
Oh!
Alright, come back around.
Fuck.
He's going to
Actually, I gotta engage this Apache.
Alright. We got freaking taken out.
Oh shit, this is not where I
This
want.
Apache's just gonna destroy you guys.
Alright.
Well, Nick, I hope you enjoy your marathon. Nick. That's an Apache helicopter trying to shoot out with us.
Got that bitch. Okay, I'm getting shot at now.
And it's electric?
It's the crazy fucking weapons of 2042. Literally 21 years in the future. This is what combat's gonna look like.
It's about to blow up.
Oh, did we blow up the rocket? Did they blow up the rocket?
Nick, I'm gonna let you know, your vehicle was at 3 health before you hopped out.
All part of the plan.
Trying to get to the tree line so I can hide the helicopter.
Ooh, got double kill with the AA missile.
I heard that. Ow! Leave me alone!
See where that wire leads to? It's up there. To your right. That wire, yep, right up there.
Yeah! Yeah! Leave me alone!
Oh no! Got a little bird flying around.
Listen, now you
110 degrees, 200 meters away. Right on the map.
This dab cart's so good. It literally just tastes like citrus.
Short range grappling hook.
Yeah! You dumb? You just hearted? Oh! He's not! I like Vector, but I can't do shit at that range.
I'm giving him a fucking Dickens in the sky.
Yeah, we'll probably spawn around like the airfield area.
Jesus!
Woods.
What the fuck?
Hills.
That fucking Osprey is just fucking doing weird loops in the air.
Okay, we're gonna come straight down on him.
Yeah.
We're gonna drop 2 missiles on him.
Is that the DMR?
Yep.
I see him.
I believe it's the only sniper rifle in the
Not
game. In the beta.
No, there's a DMR and then the next one.
Ah. What the fuck does this thing do?
Oh,
The DMR on the DMR has like no bullet.
Ooh.
The slight, it's not as heavy as the sniper.
Alright. Jeez.
that's what I'm pulling right now.
300 meters.
God, this is fucking close. I think we can kind of pull it out if we can just grab another point. Did we capture C?
I got some airfields.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Here, vehicle. Come on, we can do it. We're so close to victory. Yeah. See him over there? Ah! Oh.
Oh, we won.
You won, yeah. It was fucking close.
Jones says 17. How do you see specific?
Oh, that I don't know.
Joey, what's your origins thing?
Friends on.
Should it carry over? Okay, and then should carry over. Or actually, no, it won't because this is my Xbox account.
You just need my ID, right?
I might not. Yeah, I will.
Okay, yeah, it's just the one and then LT Big Shot.
Yeah.
Because you know someone took my actual LT Big Shot name.
Ah.
So I just changed it to First Lieutenant.
Oh,
I can't wait to see all the weird shit that's gonna be coming from.
Yeah, actually, I got a Joey too. What was it?
It's a 1, capital LTB, and then lowercase I.
A moment. I'm just talking about putting stuff in. So just give a moment.
Would you be able to invite me into the game or no?
I'm gonna look. No, you don't show up. Why?
We did this with somebody else last night.
Origins. EA account.
Shittiest of them all.
Try, this is gonna be all lowercases, big shot, 24/7, 360.
I didn't get that one either. It's so weird. The fuck?
Because I changed my ID last night. That's what my original ID was. Okay, someone give me theirs so I can just type it out.
Helco 1997 with a capital H.
Helco 1997.
Tell Monkey 1 with a capital D.
Okay, I found you next. Send friend request. And then what's yours, Joey?
Evil Monkey 1 with a capital D.
Okay. Could you spell it out for me?
Yeah, DADEVIL.
VIL.
MONKIE 1.
KIE 1. There you are.
Alright. I have you on my friends list now.
Alright. I sent you a friend request, Joey.
Okay. Oh, yeah, got it. Huh. That's so fucking weird, dude. That's exactly what we're typing in.
That's really weird. Should I probably restart the game?
No.
I should be. Yeah, no, I got you. I'm sending you right now.
Error, unknown error.
What?
Oh, no.
But it says I'm in the squad anyway. Okay, load it up then.
Right.
No, it's so stupid. I got so much XP last night, and at the end of the match, it did the whole total XP thing, right? Set it out. And then my bar never went up.
Oh.
And I got over a whole... Like, I probably could have gotten like 2-3 levels of XP right there, how much XP I fucking got.
You guys starting?
Yep.
No.
Yeah, I'm in. Yeah, no, I'm in search.
Wait.
No, I'm starting.
No, you're not starting?
I'm starting.
No.
Oh.
Oh, there we go. Never mind.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yep. I'm just lagging behind everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fair.
He's a little slow.
Even though I have fast internet. Oh, fuck. Where's my... Shit. Where's my wire? There it is. Gotta plug in the old Xbox controller.
Alright.
Options, controller.
Oh, I just fucking realized something. I'm a fucking idiot. I didn't change the I had not changed the title. So it said part 1 when it's actually part 2.
It's all good.
Game, please. Please let me use my controller right now. You really need to there we go. Takes a minute, like Hammer.
Yeah.
Am I the only one on the ground below?
The moment, yes. Just making chaos.
You need the Magnum to try. I actually haven't used it.
Armor blades, interesting.
Take more hits with that.
Yeah. Can you use the AA missile? Because I feel like launch shot up.
Okay.
Good at it.
Fuck!
SMG.
I was really customized my fucking rifle when someone freaking killed me. No. Son of a bitch.
Customize my shit too, and I just get laid out.
Yeah. He's like,
Fuck, boys, I just got my little bird.
ah, damn.
Alright, you guys can spawn on me and I can drop you off. Helco, you got a jet circling you take
Yeah, where are they? They're one more there.
I got one. Eyes on one. Engaging.
Alright.
Rockets out. I know I'm hard. Can't confirm a kill.
Alright. Welcome, boys. Careful.
Here you are, out on top.
Oh,
are you spotting for me?
Yeah, I was spotting for you.
No.
Oh, thanks, Abandoned for the raid. Hey, how was your stream?
Where the fuck are they?
I have no clue. Thank you for the follow-up.
One shot, Nick. He's one shot.
How are you doing?
He's down.
Hang on.
We're Gucci.
Good.
I fucking landed the fucking we're starting to shoot inside.
Yeah, I just spawned inside.
Where?
I see the fires from the fire.
Jet just crashed.
Ooh, okay. Oh god. Oh.
Just crashed.
Are they trying to suicide bomb us with the jets? Yeah, so it's good to spot the people.
There's nothing there. I just want to make sure that's how we do it.
Oh god.
How do you hold it?
Just tap right there.
I feel like I'm doing it, but...
No!
You got work.
Thank you. How do you mark Nick?
Right bumper. Just tap right bumper.
It's not popping up on my screen. It says I'm taking.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I didn't get that mark.
So which one's 4? There we go.
Try it again.
I'm looking around. Target. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Bannon, for the raid. And King Ace 26 for follows. I am Eucheon. I play multiple games and just playing the Battlefield right now with the boys.
Kill another.
Yeah.
They're trying to take.
Yeah, they're.
F1.
Try to keep a look.
Two down there.
Yeah, I see it up there. I'm not having any luck marking anybody.
One down. Oh, fuck. I didn't think I should shoot there.
I'm doing pretty good. Move to let that sound. They punch one of our tanks. Careful.
Oh, you're inside?
Yeah,
No,
I'm your spotter.
We're good. Okay. Make sure everybody can you see
There's a guy over there.
No. It'd be nice if we had like a thermal scope ability for the spotter. I see someone down there, right there.
There's multiple people around. There's one on the left side of the wall.
Left side of that wall. Careful. I'm gonna start marking. So we're seeing it.
Yep. Dead. Sure, inside now. Go for the guys inside.
There's something. There was someone by that rock right there. I'm seeing gunfire down there.
Where?
I just marked it. It's finicky to mark to get people on the ground. It's like I got to be like almost like dead center to mark them. Oh shit! Careful! Guide it nicely. Be gentle. Come on. Come.
When you get close to the ground, it's so hard to control.
Yeah, just bring it nice and easy. Easy does it.
Wait until we start running.
Yeah. We're a little bit okay. I'm not seeing anybody over here. So.
LT, you got anybody on the ground?
Yeah, they're all over the ridge. There's actually a few.
You got a dog again? Oh, that's a drone. That's a drone.
Yeah.
I don't know if I fight that thing.
Oh god.
Careful.
I can't fucking hit it.
Oh my god,
Whatever.
Yeah. Let everyone else take care of that. I see some gunfire down there. Careful. Are there people? Oh! Back up. I see some red markers by the building. Right back up by the building. Oh, he's super laggy. Oh god. What the fuck hit us?
Jet for sure.
We got a laggy jet. Let's move like the fucking ghosts in Macross Plus.
You can pick up other people's guns and they'll have ammo in it. Customize my fucking gun. Hell yeah. I'm back to full ammo.
Alright, sorry, we're back to you, Joey.
I think we're pretty clear over here.
Yeah, let's keep moving. Run over.
Oh.
Checking around. Seeing anything.
We're trying to get this fucking AV.
Oh, shit, behind you.
Yep.
Walking on to
He's pulling straight up.
Yep, he already seen something. Gonna walk on down.
Where we're looking at,
It's too far. There was a helicopter in here, the fucking objective.
Yeah.
Oh, and he just... Oh, the missiles that are coming out my ass! There's another helicopter on me!
I tried doing shit. Fuck good.
What's fucking bouncing around? It's got no unhuman movements. It's got that. It's got that 2042 movement power. Word.
I'm fucking this jet up.
Come on, we got this. Take it down. Take it down.
Oh my god, the jet actually shot me trying to shoot you guys.
I need to climb.
Climb. I'm still looking at it.
Okay.
His health is about half.
Yeah,
Less than half.
I took out the jet.
Yeah, we start trying to get. Oh, he's going away. He's going away.
Shut. Where did you get shot?
I think Creed is pretty decent. Have some little technical problems in there, but overall, I'm enjoying it. Oh god. Just small helicopter versus jet. We got this. Come on. Take it down. No, straight at us. Come on, motherfucker. We got this. He's just bouncing around.
Oh, I'm so bad.
Oh god, come on.
Go upside down, bro. That's how you got this.
Oh god.
No.
Oh god. Okay.
This is like crazy.
Yeah, there's a.
Oh my god, guys, or something?
I don't know if that's him or not. I think it might be a different one. I think each side can have two jets, right?
Oh, there's one underneath us.
A lot of people at D2. A lot of fucking people. Just they're all on their shit. They're probably gonna see us before we get there.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna let's back up Helco and LT over by D.
Fuck, field two.
Fuck, get up.
You get killed. You got it. Yes.
Oh, they're flanking us.
Bring down. Hit him. Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I heard it. Let's get over to D2. Try to help Helco out.
Yep. Oh my god.
There's a bunch of people down there. It's like it's all over. It's like fucking an army of ants down there. We're over by the fucking oil tanks. And they even dropped the fucking vehicle. Down.
Oh my god. What's lighting us up?
I have no idea. I see it. Ah, I'm trying to mark it, but I can't fucking. It's the vehicle that they just dropped. It's like almost like an APC or some shit.
Okay. Holy fuck.
Yeah. And here comes the fucking jet. Right behind us. Jet behind us. I'm getting out.
No, we're good, bros.
It's okay.
Okay, I'm landing. You don't know.
Get off if you want. That's all. We're gonna. Do you all want to fire at this fucking jet with our anti-air?
I can't get out. Oh, there's a fucking.
Oh, we need just countermeasures. Get kid.
There's a fucking.
I'm trying. I don't know. I'm not getting a lock on him.
Wait, did he go down? He jumped out.
Yeah, he did.
He's off to your right.
I see him right there.
Got him.
Okay.
Hey, there's a fucking motherboard over here. You guys want it?
Yeah, that's the one he jumped out of.
How to fly?
How to fly. Okay.
With keyboard and mouse?
No, with controllers.
Oh, that we don't know.
Helicopter or...
Alright, Joy, pop down.
I totally abandoned the thing. I don't know.
Left and right triggers, up and down.
I'm gonna hop onto you.
Angle. LB is fucking... Oh, sorry, yeah, LB is your attack.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's so fucking hard. I gotta get used to this.
Just slightly bring it down a little bit where I am.
Yeah.
So you can get in there. Okay, I'm in.
It like jumps up and down.
Yeah. Okay, we got this.
Like a little bit like right there. Joe, you need me to drop you off anywhere closer?
No, I'm okay. I'm just looking out to see if anyone pops off some countermeasures so I can take him out.
Yeah. Does super hind up there.
Oh, there's a helicopter popping up now. Yeah.
Two of them. They just sit on.
What is going on here?
Yeet! Down.
Massive war up here on B1.
Down to your left, Joey. Down to your left now.
Yeah, right there behind us. The helicopter.
I made up this countermeasure. It's not in range anymore.
Oh my fuck!
Yeah. Now we got a super hind. There's a looks like an APC down there. Fuck.
Oh, dude, okay. So
Little bird.
I need to figure out how I can see behind me because with these countermeasures, I need a timer when the vessel closes.
Yeah.
You can't just fucking pop it.
We should we pop it when it's like a louder beep, like drawn out like that?
Yeah.
Maybe around that time?
The clicking for sure is they're locking and then the fucking solid tone is fucking coming for us.
Yeah.
Oh, someone's flying behind us, Nick. He's right in that ridge. I think
Oh my fuck.
Why didn't I get an assist? I lit that man up.
Okay, marking them.
Oh, you went up. Let me know how it is up there.
All out chaos.
Yeah, the rooftop's fucking hell on Earth right now. Taking a little bird. Little bird's empty.
Bell.
Yep. Gun him down. Keep shooting.
Fuck.
God, I don't even see him.
Oh, he's a little.
Oh God! You killed us. No. Ah.
Throw us enough time for me to fucking give it gas and pull up.
Yeah, we have to start catching some of these places, man.
I don't know if it was a little bird. I think it was a fucking. It was definitely a Apache. Little bird's locked.
Yeah. Oh, we shot from behind.
I wish I had that. Do you have an ammo box?
You guys. I was just calling for that one.
I just need more rockets.
I got you.
This fucking
Ammo box down.
Fuck! I was reloading when I got killed. Damn it.
And fucking attack heli got me. Actually, that attack heli is about to go down.
I can't get my fucking this thing to walk.
I'm reloading!
Go! Joey, what missed rocket launcher are you using?
The AA1.
Maybe mine's lock.
Yeah, if you have the recoilless, that doesn't lock on.
And of course people up here again. Oh my god. Just getting fucked on this roof. I'm not spawning anymore and more.
Yeah, that roof is fucking hell on earth. Yeah, some guys over here. You know, by these big oil tanks, there's like guys spawning. Okay, good. Someone bailed out of their aircraft.
Is it another gadget?
It replaces your fourth. I believe it's your gadget.
FXM338.
Oh my god, I almost got directly hit by a fucking rocket.
Calling in a ranger drone. Calling in a puppy.
Yeah, this AR is ass. This it's really bad. Like the low recoil snipes, but the damage is just so bad.
Dang, bro, you suck!
Yeah, popped out armor piercing rounds on my DMR. Holy fuck! Brought a goddamn super hind on my ass.
Yeah, you guys fucking F5 in here.
Yeah.
What do you guys got there?
Got-
Helicopters over here?
Well, they're fucking suicide bombing us over here with their fucking vehicles. I have a doggy on the floor, on the ground, so.
Fox out. Pretty sure it's a splash. Got some 25 on as well.
Okay, I got more people in this area.
Where'd you go?
I'm in a predicament. You don't want me near me. I am holy fuck.
Well, I'm already dead, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, over by me was not pretty. I walked to the biggest squad of people.
How many hits you need to take out?
Yeah, it's usually two. Okay, just pop this countermeasures, you're fucked, boy.
You guys see me? I'm coming to support you guys.
Yeah, I see ya.
Hostile sector Delta.
Let's find a helicopter.
Alright, let's see how good this fucking hover mode is.
Well, you sex fuck right now, boy.
Yeah, they're on that ridge, man.
On the ridge?
Yeah, I just pinged around the ridge.
Not copy. Not copy.
There's a helicopter above you.
Helicopter above you? Helicopter above you?
Well, below you also. I'm trying to walk onto him. I walked onto him. The last one.
Bugging out.
I don't know.
Straight up.
Yeah, it's all on that ridge, man. All on that ridge.
Head up to the marker.
There is a tank.
Fuck. Hit the fucking ceiling, dude.
Damn. Alright. I'm at the goal. It's all west dog. I pull up the whole fucking revolver with my dog and go take care of business.
Me and this dude just killed each other. Oh, damn it.
So we out here and go with roaming these fields.
Oh, behind you, whoever's on the fucking like platform with the rocket launcher behind you, down. You're right.
God, it's ammo. I only have one bullet left in my fucking DMR. Damn it. Ah. Oh, we're actually pretty close to win again, actually. You have about double the amount of tickets they have. Though we are even on control. Fuck.
Enemy forces control the majority of sectors. Sector has been eliminated by the enemy.
Oh my god. Dude, I was going up a hill and a jeep came from the fucking peak of the hill and almost took my head off. Holy shit. Oh, there's a tank! Oh my god! Oh my god! What did I do? This hill's like
That's like a border fucking points right there.
Yeah, fucking behind enemy lines here.
Seems like it's fucking little bird coming.
Man, there's a bunch of people.
Oh yeah,
there's
Whoever's leading right now to your left by A1's straight ahead.
Oh my god, I got taken out.
Oh god.
30 millimeter cannon just be out, yeah.
You got two fucking little birds above you guys, circling hard. They're gonna fucking
Yeah.
dump in their pods.
Blocking on 1-to-1.
I'm all out of fucking everything.
Countermeasures?
Got a tank?
Yeah, Randy.
Fuck.
God. I need to fucking start being over. Would not recommend.
God damn. It's so sad my dog is fucking like covering me. It's covering my back. It is.
One guy pushing towards what I'm seeing.
Oh, it's so sad.
Fuck it. In the fucking 35 again.
Okay.
You're gonna try and
We're pretty,
earlier,
we're pretty
guys.
good though. I will say.
Did I hit the fucking ceiling? No. Oh,
come on.
hover mode? That's weird.
The Russian forces have decimated.
Oh my god, dude, really? Oh, can you put grenades?
Maybe. I think we can.
Because I think that's what that guy just did to me.
You look at insta kill the grenade.
Yeah. I thought I got hit with the rocket.
Yeah, I think. Oh, this body's burnt dancing.
You can cook him now.
Oh, we won.
Let's go. Okay. I want a different AR. This one's so bad. Like I put so many bullets in people.
Oh, which one were you using?
Just the basic one that you start off with.
The M5A3?
Yeah. Like it's really good. Like it has really good recoil, but it just doesn't do damage.
Were you having like any weird like lag or anything while we were shooting? Because I remember having like a weird issue where like, the game was like kind of slowing down a little bit when I would fire. So the gun didn't feel right.
I would say I was having that. The one issue I was having was people when they would die, their character models would still be standing. I had that happen to me a couple times. And then sometimes their character model keep on running and then just fall over after they're already dead. Oh. That's the two things that I've noticed that game. And then also with the hybrid sight on that AR, sometimes it doesn't switch at all. Sometimes you're just stuck in one of the sites.
Yeah. I can feel that.
Yeah, my dad just died. Good thing I have a second. Oh, I can't the sun, can I? No, yeah, I can.
Yeah. What's up? Yeah, give me one sec. Yeah, I'll look at a menu.
You back in Chinese?
No.
Oh.
Fucking. Little place right around the corner from my house. So I'm gonna have to dip out of this.
Okay.
It's just fine. I need to get my ship situated for raid.
I did unlock the next AR. Sweet. Look, I'll look at AK.
This should do well.
Mag.
Send in a ranger drone at these coordinates.
Oh, my dog. We're in a storm.
Away we go. Shit, I don't even know where I want to go first.
Went down to the, this would be the oil area. Where all the fuel tank spheres are. That's where I'm headed.
Oh yeah, this AK is decent. Oh my god. Oh my god, this thing's amazing.
Got off sprays shooting over here.
Hostile located. 220 pace. 130 meters.
There's someone up there.
Yeah.
Like the first floor up. Why did it take? Oh my god! My touch. Okay. Why?
It's a glitch that's going on. Yeah, I don't have the grappling hook because I'm gonna be like a medic. So I gotta run up here.
Probably want to pull louder. First.
Yeah, we'll just go together. We'll merge bodies. Whoa, fuck! Holy shit, what the fuck?
I'm coming, bud.
I mean, fucking Nightbird took my ass out, watch out. God damn. That fucking helicopter shooting missiles at us.
I hit him with the rocket.
Oh. God damn.
There's a
fucking, yeah. My dog's not firing. No!
I'm sorry.
My puppy!
Oh my god, what's happening?
Everyone came in. Hell.
Oh my god. Jet, help me, please. I'm on that stuff.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Fucking helicopter. I love how this jet just passes by and doesn't nothing about helicopter.
Yeah.
Delta sector is under American control.
There was a guy around. Not in this area. Lost the road. Fuck, there's more guy. And it took off my attachments again.
Yeah. The current glitch with that AK, it's the only weapon that's having that issue.
I love this gun. Yeah, that's gonna be a little annoying.
Yeah.
At least you can do it on the go.
Yeah.
So it ain't too bad. Is it like Warzone where I can just jump on top? No, it's not. Actually, yes, it is. Thank you.
Actually, I have no idea where I'm going.
You there. Okay, maybe I should just there we go. Oh, I can't even turn around. Okay. So I can't look behind us already. That's interesting. I feel like it should be the other way around.
Driving it.
Oh my god. Oh.
Get out.
Yeah, there were people to the left and right.
Do that soon. There's fucking running around. Damn it.
We're taking casualties.
I know. I honestly, when I saw people, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try to run them over," because like, but when you drive, it's all third person. So I was trying to aim myself that way. Like, am I gonna hit them? Nope. Fucking slam into the thing. Just jumped out. See how far it would take me.
We can spawn on that objective. There's a little tunnel that goes to D1.
Yep.
Capture.
Oh yeah, I know about that.
Oh my god. I'm already excited this one.
Oof.
My gun all situated, and tunnel. Start.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I put my turret down right.
Careful.
Right in the middle here. Yeah, they're all the way at the hallway on the right. Bolt down. Pushing.
Yeah, I'm gonna revive some more people.
Got the next one. I don't know how many more are left.
Alright.
Where I'm strafing.
Okay.
Gucci.
I'm reviving people from behind because I am a medic.
I'm showing down here. There's one guy straight across at the building. This door, but he's leaves on throwing grenade. Careful.
Okay, I dropped the med kit.
He's dead.
I'm trying to freaking revive you, but he wants to keep taking your gun. Oh yeah, it's 3. It's a fucking sting.
I wish I had that turret right now. Watch out, there's still people in that building.
Yeah,
I'm gonna push out to the right.
Oh, I wanted to call. I'm calling my dog. Hopefully. I'm calling in a puppy. Come on.
Building's clear so far.
What the fuck?
Decent. Okay. That was a good push.
Okay, two jets are down. Two enemy jets.
yeah, could get an Osprey coming up there.
I see it. I see it. Engaging.
Yeah, like always, the rooftop of that big ass building is always a mess.
Spray. What is that? What is that flying maneuver doing?
Don't. Giving me a belly.
Oh my god. I'm walking on.
Where'd he go? Never mind. I think I see him.
Wait, I know what this is reminding me of.
Okay.
That off-spray move maneuver. It's like the fucking goddamn the Razor Crest from Mandalorian.
Oh yeah. That's how.
Yeah. He's doing some Mandalorian fight maneuvers.
I got a helicopter in the air. He's hit once.
Alright.
I missed him again. He's hurt bad.
I'm trying to log on to the place so close.
Can't come back around. I can't. No visual.
Oh, he just bought countermeasures.
Engage in the sauce. Far.
Helicopter's down.
Yeah, I hear like gunfire around. Fuck. Shit. It's supposed to revive you. That thing's supposed to revive people.
I'm heading towards.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a... I have my ranger around. He's just not shooting at the guys. Really. So I have like a freaking robot protector.
Oh yeah.
I'm taking that. Someone's reviving me. Okay, I'm up. Reloading, hopefully.
Oh yes.
I died.
Oh, now it attacks something. There's snipers over there.
Shooting up.
There's snipers over there.
They could shoot that far. Holy fuck.
Goddamn whirly bird, you killed my fucking dog. Ooh, fuck. I just popped to heal myself and then just fucking get obliterated by a goddamn tank round.
God.
Wait a minute. Can I? Come on. It says hold 3 to self-heal. I'm gonna die. Screw it. It keeps saying hold 3 to self-heal, so it has to be when I'm alive. Alright, but just like, nah. I'm too injured to heal myself with my own super heals.
Somebody's good.
You ain't super soldier now.
Yeah. So yeah, what do we got to capture?
Alpha sector is now under our control.
I'm in Scott Cook.
The super hind up there.
Yep, walking on the
Please, 200 meters away.
countermeasure. Oh my god, there's people landing. Kid. What the fuck are you doing?
The far from a distance, I get over there. He just killed him. Well, that guy just killed himself. There's a gunner all the way up there. Then a marker is saying go over there. There's literally a helicopter just up there shooting at us with grenades. Fucking A. God damn.
There's a guy right fucking my fucking building.
Oof.
Get his ass. Got his ass. I love this AK right now. It's even though I have to put on the attachments every time I
Yeah.
I fucking love this thing.
Yeah. It is good. Yeah, let me.
Tank again. That tank's low on health. Oh, it's about to blow up. Oh my god, he sees me. Oh my god, there's people pushing my building.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to deploy on you.
Not one. They're all up on this ridge above me.
Okay, I'll try my best to cover you.
Around here somewhere. I just heard him talking.
For fuck's sake. Little burden.
There's a guy on the roof.
I saw something over here.
Is that a?
Yeah, around here.
Bottom.
Need a second to reload.
Fucking ammo. Shit.
Okay, someone up above on the road. On the road, it looks like. I'm trying to figure out where the shooting's coming from.
Oh, there's a jeep coming in.
I'm watching for trees. We also got a fucking Apache here.
Yeah.
North.
I got the guy that was in the jeep. So grab some fucking mag. And he's not
Oh. Did none of my shots even hit him?
Was he?
He was on the ridge up there. He sniped me.
Okay, he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. So I'm requesting a heal.
I don't know. Don't ask.
I was thinking it's about the storm over here.
Yeah. Tornadoes coming.
Oh shit! I actually never seen this. Oh,
There's more people on this fucking compound again.
yeah.
Oh yeah, he's right on that fucking. Got him.
Like
Oh, there's more. I'm bringing them in. Want to kill more.
Jesus. The first time I actually seen the tornado. Because Because all I've ever seen is the rocket, where it launches and all the big smoke comes out the sides.
Where am I from? Someone on that freaking road again.
Yeah, the roads are one of the best places. Oh, the coolant's being launched.
I killed each other, bro.
Alright, I'm gonna heal you. What the fuck?
Oh my god.
Look here, I'm healing you. There's two snipers on that left.
Will you wait? You're at D2. Okay. We want to go back.
Yeah.
Let's go to D1.
Yeah.
They're probably gonna tunnel edge.
Yeah.
Enemy down. Waddles. Give me the attaches.
Yeah, they gotta fix that before the game launches.
I'm sure they will. Isn't this like a 4-month-old like automator or something?
Yeah, behind us.
Yeah.
Okay, got him. I believe so, yeah, because this is what the technical alpha was. It was literally just this one level. I didn't see the tornado when I was playing. It was always just like the rocket. It was always in that ready position, but never launched.
The U.S. forces are weakened. They're nearly defeated.
Another guy right there.
Because I haven't seen one yet.
There's a guy on the ridge.
All right, hang on.
He was weird. I'm kind of down to go through this fucking tunnel right now. Yeah, looks like they're getting into it a little bit down here.
All right. How do you change the sights on here? Like when if you have like the hybrid sight, how do you switch from one to the other?
Sync controller.
Oh, it's F. You press the F key to do it.
Oh my god. Careful.
Enemy helo spotted.
Okay.
180 degrees.
Got it! Right above my fucking head, I blew it up. Hell yeah.
Nice, nice.
Much.
One more rocket. Oh, well, got 2 more rockets left. Clear. I'm gonna try to clear the skies. Oh, they. Oh, yeah. They're, look at our score. Look at our score.
Oh, shit.
Look at it.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at it! Look at it! Look at it! Look at it!
Yeah, we blew them out of the water. Holy shit.
Look at it! Look at it!
How can you tell? Where's my KD?
I know, super weird. It's like combines your kills in the beginning. I think you gotta do it right before the game ends. You might feel like a scoreboard.
Okay. I felt like I was going off right there.
Yeah, definitely sucks. When you get a game, you think you're going off and fucking catch the score.
Look at it!
Oh yeah, that
Look at it.
yeah, that SpongeBob, that Nickelodeon like Smash Brothers came out.
Did it.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Do you want this? Yeah, god damn it. Yeah, that's me.
Throw lures. I might have it where I'll be behind me. I can fucking missiles coming in at me. Maybe.
I forgot why I can't export my stuff. Yeah.
All right, let's go, boys.
Gonna go back to the guy with the turret. I do want to try out the LMG. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna try that.
No, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Nah, my look behind me. Sorry. Talk to myself. Keybinds are fucking so fucked.
I am in the chopper. Oh, this is a fucking stoner.
Oh, nice.
Looks like. Oh, bro.
You wanna be drop behind lines or?
Really, wherever. If it's busy, that's where I'm supposed to be.
I like it.
I'm gonna jump here.
Alright.
Help secure this. Cancel.
Alright, try and see if I can see anything coming up
Yeah,
on
you
you
can
guys.
left control.
Oh yeah, you guys got people moving in for sure. Heavy tanks.
Yeah, so that's useful like if you're hitting like armored enemies and tanks and vehicles because you'll go through it.
Oh, we won't do anything. Still hurt them. Just infantry.
Yeah, well, it might be able to pierce through if they have armor on. Like if they have, yeah.
I just took out a tank. Sweet.
Nice. With the recoil?
Yeah, you took out. I saw that. You took it out with the recoil. Take down that truck.
And each other again.
Oh, you jumped out of the truck.
Got him.
Why am I this bitch? Was that roof looking busy? Oh yeah. Actually, there's friendlies on there too, pushing up. Ow. I just got shot.
There's a little bird somewhere.
Helicopter, planes, all together. This is...
Now that I'm on the fucking.
Where is he?
Plane just flew. Looks like they're below. I don't know where the rockets are.
Oh, he's in front of us. Oh my god. Dropping fast. Hold on, it's gonna get fucking. No! Sorry.
Oh, I belly hit too hard.
I was shaking those rockets.
Yeah.
The positioning of this red dot on the fucking LMG is so weird. It's like way too low. Kind of just throws me off.
Probably yeah. Fucking glitched or something.
Mm.
It basically lines up with the barrel itself. Oh, there's someone on this goddamn roof shit.
Yeah.
Got control of almost every sector.
You guys know that you can bunny hop in this like in Modern Warfare?
Sector F, enemy control.
Right above us.
Block parachute so bad.
It's a skill.
Oh yeah, so true. This LMG kind of cooks.
You got the chips up here? Who do?
Oh my god. I got you.
Gotta start securing enemy activity.
No.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
One.
I killed a guy and then someone just shot me from the freaking coming down from a parachute.
I'm gonna go to two.
Nothing else to expect plus. Come on.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
Coming in with the little bird. Bro, why is this fucking bugging out for me? Just give me the little fucking bird, dude.
People down in the freaking tunnel.
They're a long way from surrender. Surrender, but they're wounded.
Let's get him. What the fuck? No.
Right? Wait, I see it.
Sector 5 is now
Like solo on hold. There's someone down in that tunnel. Throw a frag in there, fucking.
Oh, I have it.
Got him.
Oh, I fucking just deployed my fucking sentry down in there too. Good.
You're gonna reload.
Thank you.
Pushing down in there. I'm hold right now. Oh, there's people down here. There's people.
Yeah, we're coming up behind you. Don't worry.
Down my turret. Please put down the turret. Jesus Christ! Holy fuck! Getting out my rocket launcher. Start throwing rounds down range. Yeet! That didn't go anywhere. Push him. And then now they're about to cap our other objective. God damn it. There's people in the fucking this way, so it's making some flank eventually.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just stuck in the doorway because no one wants to fucking go out of it.
Proximity sensor.
Assembling sentry.
Okay, I've placed a search sentry.
This guy's fucking lagging, dude. It's so fucking annoying.
Oh yeah.
More sectors falling to the Russians. Nearing.
Ooh.
Yeah, they just capped like the one that we were just.
Ah, I killed him on the side.
Are there some near that crate, or are you good?
I'm good for now. There was one guy over by the bridge on my, like where I'm looking towards.
You can reviving decent.
Yeah.
Reloading weapon.
Fuck.
People coming from the airstrip itself. Why does Sky want to get in the car? Get out of here. Leave me alone. There's people attacking my sentry right now in the tunnel.
Okay. There's also guys.
Sentry's down.
Wait, this guy's back here. I see the red on the map.
Oh man, I just died. Fuck. There's a bunch pushing that tunnel. Be careful.
Okay.
Grenades are being thrown.
Okay, let me pop a thing.
Watch out, there's a lot pushing.
Fuck! Why won't it let me pop out my sentry?
Yeah, that's what was happening to me in that way, because I try to fucking get out right there.
Yeah.
I was like spamming. It's green. No, apparently.
God damn it. That'll be the perfect spot. Fuck, we gotta respawn back in that area. Start clearing that tunnel out.
Yeah. I just spawned on teammate right now.
Alright.
So many helicopters above B1.
Fuck.
Four.
Shit. Well, kill for kill.
Yeah, they're pushing from mother.
Don't just drop the fucking Jeep in front of it. What the fuck?
Not like it's red dog.
No, so I didn't even try to.
The guns just wearing those red dots. Rose them all. I see a difference here. Try to see
Behind us! Our troops are holding sector Delta.
Yeah, they come behind us. I'm like, okay.
There's people on the roof. He's dead.
Parachuting down.
Yeah, vehicle. Come up behind you guys. Truck.
Yeah, I see it.
Dead.
Did you get it? I think you. Did you get him?
It's dead. I didn't personally, but X down.
There's a guy on my bridge.
Alright. Calling in a ranger. There's my dog. Calling in a pupper.
How do you call this?
Oh, you press B and let you call down vehicles. There's a guy down helicopter right in my position. Oh, it shoots in that room. Not the tunnel area, but like right over to B. It's shooting stuff over there.
There is. Hello. Yeet. Hit the tank. Once. That tank already down. Shit, that was taken out. I'm going down.
Okay, there are people coming from behind, looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, people crossing the airfield right now. Like peppering them. They're all lit. They're all so lit.
Alright.
Got one. The other one's dead. We're good. We got this shit. Locked down.
Yeah, we're getting shot from above.
Yeah. People
Oh my god. They're parachuting. Yeah, you better hurt you little bitch.
Yeah, alright, put my thing over with some guys shooting. Got him. Another guy coming down.
Man's just eating it.
Hey.
The guy, no, it's in front of me. Oh my god, I just got shot. Fuck me.
Guy land on roof.
Alright. Oh, I hit him a couple times, but didn't kill him.
One down on roof.
Okay, get some more people. Shooting from the building.
Two down roof.
I think I'm fucking him.
Oh!
What the fuck?
Do that?
Yeah, something crashed.
Clipper's salad. He's just fucking flipped
Yeah.
over.
Fuck, I just am animal. They just find a dead body of over some of this guy sick as shit.
Man, it's right up on me, bro.
Yeah, I'm dropping in a bobcat. Okay, called in a bobcat.
Bobcat, where you at? Oh, shit, okay.
Dude, if you're running, freaking slide and then double jump after. You literally just go fucking.
Oh, missile launch.
Yeah, it's launching. We're shot from behind.
Happy.
Start firing. I can't.
Oh shit! Nice. Oh my god! Oh my god! What's going on?
I was looking from behind because I was saying because I gotta change the camera.
Nice, you're good.
And there's my robot dog.
He's dead. I think you killed him.
Ah, I got my robot dog with me. Okay. I see some shots coming from behind. I hate that you have to hold down the right mouse button in order to lock your turret so you don't turn while so you move the camera without turning the turret gun.
That is weird.
Behind?
What the fuck? Right. Because my man's running a fucking bullet.
Yeah. I don't know if you see him. Fuck.
God damn it. Not from in front, from fucking behind.
Fucking hell.
This guy's trying to lane right on us.
I see him too. Fuck you, buddy. Got him. What the fuck? That's fair enough. Fair enough. It happened. Fair enough. Can this fucking work, please?
My man is lagging fucking hard. So
yeah, that's happening to me.
Jet,
I'll be shooting on just lagging. They go down this freaking tunnel.
Got to start securing sectors. Enemy has majority control.
Dang it. Which I actually didn't request a revive? Yeah. If we can get a bobcat or something around here, it would be perfect. Okay. I spot her again.
That's fucking. Yeah, we're in a fucking. Oh shit.
Yep, right from behind us.
Fucking A. We're just lighting each other up. I got fucked up by another. Yeah, he actually shot on me before we engaged him.
Yeah. Jesus. Oh, it's like, Yeah, it's fucking hell.
Oh, there's someone just laying on the ground in front of me, looking nowhere. It just fucks up my fucking movement. Oh man.
Chaos, redo something, please.
Oh, hello.
Spree, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, that's you. That's you. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I wasn't even expecting to be in this.
Oh, it's just.
What is happening? What's happening?
I will try and get us out of this. Well, somehow the fucking.
Oh my god, there's no way getting out of that. No. You have. Oh no, you can. Oh, there you go. You're out. Bro, like literally one of those fucking turbines or whatever just stuck in the fucking wall.
Can you get in?
A little bit lower. There we go. Sweet. Oh, I can't move. There we go. It's like I can mount the turret.
Where are you going, I guess?
This would be cool. I haven't been in a vehicle yet. Oh my god, this is nice. Wall.
Oh, coming through this tunnel over by C. At the big, like, not the underground tunnel, the one, the road tunnel.
Oh no!
I just tried to call it a cheap thing to get it moving around. It doesn't matter.
I engaged flight mode at the wrong time. It went from a helicopter into a plane going Well, full speed boys.
There were people all over this place last time I looked on the map.
Yeah.
They're all dead now. It's like shit fucking. Oh yeah, I can revive.
Oh god, I got killed. Go ahead,
Where'd you die from?
It was up top of the reach. The guy who killed me is dead though. I don't know if there was just like one sniper left. But we're cleared now.
This man really honking at me? Get the fuck out of it. I guess. Yep. No cover.
Well, I'm
turning this.
Because you're the passenger, I'm the gunner. I have the minigun.
I mean, to even look around. Oh wait. What the fuck? No, it's just really my curse. My god.
Ooh.
Interesting. I don't like this. Yeah, I can even
God damn.
Oh my god, my whole screen's just fucked. Ever since getting in that, I can't. My whole body's not up or anything. I'm just gonna die here. Die. Kill me, you won't pussy. Please, there's someone on top of this building behind us. Oh, that's not you.
I just sniped him out of the fucking. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, you can go away then.
Die.
God damn. Oh no, my visual. Fuck. Because in the vehicle, it was like bouncing all over the place.
My screen won't move anymore.
Jesus.
I'm gonna get sniped.
Just trying to get the fuck out the way.
People fucking everywhere here.
Yeah. If you get into a whirly burner, whatever, come over to D2.
the game's almost over.
Yeah, we're about to lose anyway. But we're not going down without a fucking fight, that's for damn sure.
Taking Sector Alpha. You were overwhelmed. We must take our losses and streak on.
Yes. Oh, that drop down went from 241 to 237.
I honestly really want to like that LMG, but it's so hard with that red dot.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, what you say?
I said.
Hold my weave.
Hold your weave.
I gotta take the earrings off too. I gotta take my five rings off each finger.
Jesus Christ.
You
While
going
giving the longest reason on why not to fuck with you. Taking stuff, giving that reason.
You done.
I'm gonna try the vector this game.
It's a water recoil, bro.
I know. Actually, I'm not running this shit. I'm not risking that shit happening again.
Alright. 6 o'clock. Got time to relax.
Oh my god, the vector doesn't even come with much ammo. Comes with like 2 extra mags. That's a big sad. Them.
Solve this mystery here.
Why am I running?
Oh, the other guy's an Xbox player.
Oh, I'm taking this hike. I have about it.
Oh. There was an enemy with a car behind us. Yeah, a vehicle. I think we might get him taken care of. Oh shit.
Helicopter, one in there, 140 degrees, 110 meters away.
Fuck.
Someone next to me.
Did you fall all the way down?
No, I was already down. I set up a turret to try and cover me, but that didn't work out.
Yeah, I was right next to it when it exploded.
We control most sectors on the battle.
Okay, you got revived.
Jet. Helicopters behind us.
Fuck. Oh, he was just hiding down there.
Is he close to you?
Yeah, he's going up the ridge but from where I came from.
I see him.
Yep. Okay, watch. Come around. Don't see anybody. We're clear.
That fucking sliding revive
Yeah.
set.
The Whirlybird is fucking massacring the area right now.
Going down a turret. I'm gonna push to the next building.
What's our current state?
Oh my god! I'm almost dead. Teammates fucking dead. Oh my god, there's so many pushing here. Careful.
Yeah, I kind of noticed.
Sorry. And now I'm dead. Where did that guy come from?
Because we got helicopter strife in the area. Yeah, and people coming in.
There's so many pushing.
They really want this area real bad.
Right. So smart. Go down that tunnel, because that's what we push next. Set up that frickin' turret.
We have captured all of
They're already pushing it.
Okay, quickly reload. Probably should actually get in the cover.
I'm pushing up with the rocket right now. My vector's at range. Alright, I'm gonna throw a frag. I'm gonna push up with it. Nothing. Oh, he's so low. He's one hit. Oh fuck.
Ah, fuck.
Run.
I'm killed.
Oh, you did. Just one teammate against how many? Oh my god, he's dead. Man, no, they have it. Really
Delta sector. We need to secure more sectors before the whole map falls.
What the fuck?
Oh. The game crash?
Yeah. As soon as I got into it, I got into the fucking aircraft. It was like, error game not found. I was like, what?
That happened to me too. Well, now I'm back in the game. Huh? It just restarted the whole match for some reason. All the tokens are full, none of the bases are captured. That's weird. Still says you're in here.
Oh yeah, I'm back in. That was weird.
That was very weird.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna get off now. Yeah, dinner.
Oh, you're getting off?
Yeah, I'll definitely play again later.
I'm gonna keep on grinding this. I'm having
Oh yeah.
fun.
Yeah, definitely gonna be playing this when it comes out. The weird part is that the beta actually ends on my birthday. Like right early ass in the morning. On Sunday at 3 a.m. It's when the fucking beta ends. Like, ah, shit.
Jeez.
So I'll talk to you guys a little later. I'm gonna do my outro and go eat.
Word. Peace
Word.
out.
Peace out.
Peace out. Peace out.
All right, and with that done, I'm gonna be ending the stream right now. So if you did enjoy my stream and what you watched, click on the follow button down below. I do try to stream every day. You gotta start being a little bit more variety at some point. Obviously, I'm enjoying the Battlefield beta, so might continue on with that tomorrow. Who knows? I do want to get into VR chat stream at some point. I usually play that on my off time. So definitely follow me on my social platforms to learn about what stuff I'll be doing. Twitter's a decent place to follow me. I do like little posts on there. I also have a YouTube for my VODs, but for some reason it's currently not letting me export stuff right now. But a lot of older moments are over there now. TikTok does exist, but nothing on there yet. And there is a Discord server that I have created, so it is very smooth. Just try to get everyone in there, you know. It is the best place to follow because everything else is linked to it. So with that being said, whether it was morning, afternoon, evening, or night, whether you're watching this live or you're watching this as a VOD on either Twitch or YouTube, I want to thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, and yeah, we'll do a raid today. We'll raid Arrow. That's it. Possibly more Battlefield tomorrow. That's gonna be up in the air. Maybe, maybe not, but yeah. It'll be announced tomorrow. Probably will be anyway. Yeah, have fun with Arrow. He's pretty cool to watch. He's a pretty, like, a little kind of chill type of person.